Hey everybody, I just want to let you in on something that we're excited about. I've been making records my entire life, and what I mean by making records is it takes months and months to pick songs and produce and arrange and all that stuff. I've always wanted to go into the studio and capture a record, and what I mean by capture, I mean capture the whole experience. Sit down with just songs that I know and love, songs that you know and love, and just record them, just play and record and have fun. And that's what we're working on right now.
Thank God for kids.
This is live. They haven't been arranged, not really rehearsed. So if there's a note or two that's kind of bad, you're probably going to hear it. But that's kind of the fun of this. And we're very excited about it. But it's songs from my childhood, songs that I grew up on that may seem a little silly to you, but made a huge impact on my life.
He's got the itty bitty baby. In his hands, he's got
We're so excited about it. So be looking for this sometime around June before Doug and I go on tour. But check out the website, devinmcglamery.com, and it'll be on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff too. Thank you guys so much.
In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands.
Hey there, and thanks for joining us for another episode of On the Couch with Fouch. Today, I have the lead singer for Ernie Haas and Signature Sound. His name is Devin McGlamery, and he was so kind enough to accept my invitation to join me on the couch. And today, we're actually in Visalia, California. We're here for the Great Western Fan Festival, and we're here with a lot of our friends and some great people from the West Coast. We don't get to come to the West Coast a whole lot.
Once or twice a year, maybe.
Yeah, so it's great to see all the people out here. We're having a phenomenal time. The weather has been perfect.
Amazing.
And the facility is great, and the people here are great. And actually, this is...
Speaking of people.
Yeah, speaking of people, this is a first for these interviews. We actually have an audience here for the video today. So if you guys would just make some... Listen, that is just thunderous.
They're in here by the ones and twos. They really are.
We've got 4 people watching this today. So, but this is the first. Usually it's just me and the person doing the interview, or maybe one other person.
We're in the green room right now.
We are. So we're in the green room. It's got some snacks and some drinks here for the artists that are here for the weekend. And so thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time. But before we get into social media questions, I want you to tell everybody about how you got into gospel music, and then also a little bit about your family.
Well, I started singing when I was 5. I started doing some solo dates locally when I was around 11 years old. Right out of high school, I joined the Dixie Melody Boys, Mr. Ed O'Neill, for 5 years. I traveled with those guys. Then I jumped on the bus with Karen Peck and New River for 5 years, and now I'm in 4 years in with Signature Sound. Having a great time. Been married for 10 years, my beautiful wife Karen, and we've got 2 kids. My little girl is 8, and her name is Marlon, and my little boy is soon to be 5. His name's Preston.
You have a very nice looking family, cute
Thank you,
kids.
man. They're awesome. I'm blessed.
I do want you to tell just real briefly, speaking of your kids and your family, just tell a little bit about the music video that you did last year. Tell a little bit about that, because I watched that online and it was great. I loved it, and that song is fantastic. So
thank you very much.
Tell just a little bit about that song and that video.
It's probably my favorite song on my solo record. Back in May of last year, Ernie and Wayne with Stowtown Records produced a solo record for me. And that's my favorite song on the record. It's a song called While I Still Can. And you can YouTube search it or go to my website and it's on there. But it's a really cool video. A guy by the name of Patrick Tohill, who does a lot of stuff for the Hoppers, their media and stuff, shot that video for me. And it's just a song about, spending the time there while you still got them. Yeah. And while they're still little. And so I actually did it this morning for the breakfast thing here, and it was a lot of tears.
Oh, yeah. Well, my little boy's 2, and it's just one of those things you got to keep reminding yourself of every day, every week, man. Just like spend all the time you can with them, because it's
going
to be quick. But while you guys are on YouTube watching this video, go ahead and head over, check out that video. I'll even put the link maybe in the description or something. So check that out there and you watch the video. It's really good.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So now that we know about your family and how you got into this, let's get right into the questions.
I'm nervous, not just the audience. I haven't seen the questions.
Well, okay, so they're great. So first question is from Marcy Larrabee. And once again, as always, if I get your name, if I pronounce it, if I get it wrong, don't hate me. I'm doing the best that I can here. A lot of you I've never actually met personally. So Marcy Larrabee wants to know, what has been the most memorable venue or location you have sung, and why?
I have a couple. One of the first ones was probably the first time I came to Canada with the Dixie Melody Boys. At just that Red Deer convention up there.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. And it was
That's cool.
one of the biggest crowds I'd sang in front of.
Mhm.
And then the other one would probably be Reardon Auditorium, where Signature Sounds cut a lot of the
In
videos.
Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson, Indiana. But we did the Cathedral Tribute there. And man,
Oh, nice.
fought back tears all night long. Just because so many great songs, so many great people, and their families were there
Right.
to look out and see Glenn's wife and all of George's family. It was just
That's cool.
memorable night.
Yeah, and that kind of reminds me of Dallas, where we did the Cathedral's family
Yep.
reunion in November of last year, and just the moments that we had that evening, or actually those 2 days.
Yeah.
It was just a really neat experience.
Absolutely.
Something to, you're honored to be a part of.
Absolutely.
For sure. So that's pretty cool. Good
Yeah.
answers. I enjoyed those.
Thank you, buddy.
The next question is from Brian Siebold. Thank you for your question, Brian. And he wants to know, what is it like singing with Ernie Haas?
Well, I relate that to another question. A lot of people say, was it different traveling with women on a bus like Carapet River and traveling with guys? There's actually more hairspray on our bus than there was on the women's bus with traveling with Ernie. But no, it's fun traveling with Ernie. I have literally been watching him sing since I was a kid. So to stand on stage with Ernie and hear him do "Old Savior," it's pretty
Yeah.
pretty
And
surreal.
he did that this afternoon in your guys' showcase, and
Yeah.
it was great.
He kills it, man.
I enjoyed it, man. I was standing up clapping. It was great.
That's cool.
Next question, Brett Olson. If you had been a member of the Cathedrals, what classic convention song would you have loved to sing?
Wow.
That's a great question.
It is a great question. When I think of classic convention song,
Mhm. And if you can't think of a classic,
Yeah,
just
just a
maybe just a
cathedral
general
song in
cathedral
general.
song.
I mean, there's so many hits, man.
I know.
Wedding Music, Step into the Water. I mean, all those. Of course,
Champion of Love.
Champion of
My
Love,
favorite.
Yes, and then there's We Shall See Jesus.
Yeah.
That'd probably be, that definitely up there on the top.
Yeah.
Come on in, man. We have an audience for this video. You're good.
Chad Baker,
Chad,
the
ladies and
merchandise
gentlemen.
specialist for Great Division, just joined us here.
Maybe Chad will bring us
He's
some
getting a
chips and
snack.
salsa from over there.
And by the way, if you hear the loud noise, it's just the door opening and closing. So
Yeah.
that's just part of the ambiance and being here on the
Yeah.
couch with Fouch.
And
it's just
I'm always
something
known
part
for
of it.
being loud, so this is perfect.
There you
know?
go. So next question, Marlissa Brandon, who is your favorite singer?
Man, I got that today in the question and answer thing we did. My favorite singer. It depends on what day it is, honestly. I've got so many singers I grew up listening to. Of course, the Cathedrals, I grew up listening to them. I was a big Mike English fan as a kid. And then I'm a big pop music guy, too. Like Michael Bolton, Mike McDonald. Maybe I should have a thing for singers with the name Michael. I don't know. I don't know.
Bublé.
Never had that correlation till now.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
an epiphany. But man, it's, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe your name is supposed to be Michael.
Maybe it is.
Never know. Casey Brandon is the next question.
No,
Thank you, Casey.
I know Casey.
Who is your favorite musician?
He's gonna want me to say Casey Brandon, but I do love Casey. Casey goes and plays piano for me on my solo dates a lot.
Okay.
Probably 90% of the time. Great player, singer, just all around great guy. But favorite musician?
He was fishing for a little shout out there.
Yeah,
so
there it
you
is.
Got it there.
Come on. Man, I don't know. I've got a lot.
Just one.
Just one.
Mhm.
Man, I don't know. There's that awkward silence right there.
Okay,
I knew
well,
I was gonna get hung up on one.
There's one. I got him on that one. Excellent question. Next question. Christian Johnson wants to know, what is your favorite song?
Man,
Did we get number two?
No. I don't know that I could pick a song. It depends on, like something I've heard somebody say before, music is good for whatever is going on that day. And so if I'm in a bad mood, I can play something that's going to make me happy. If I don't, it just depends on, I go through different moods. Because I have ADD.
He's so emotional.
I'm so emotional. And the room's laughing.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what mood I'm in.
Okay. So, really no answer there. Just depends on the mood.
Yeah,
Get an
I mean, if
actual
you
song.
looked at my playlist on my phone, you would laugh because it's just.
All over the place.
Like when I'm out for a run, I normally hit shuffle and just see what happens.
Well, there you are. Hope you enjoyed the answer.
Or
right,
the
so now
roundabouts of it.
Let's get to kind of a couple more. Those were all kind of singing
Yeah.
related questions. These are kind of a little more personal. Kimberly Scott wants to know, how do you guys on the Ernie Haas Signature Sound bus handle a disagreement between each other?
I'm always right. There's no disagreement. I'm just kidding. Honestly, and this is gonna be hard for people to believe, but we don't have a lot of disagreements.
Yeah.
Paul, our bass singer, sitting in here, part of our studio audience today. But we don't. We get along pretty good.
And I can actually say the same thing. I've been with Legacy 5 for a year and a half, and there hasn't been one time in that year and a half that we have had there's been a disagreement or, a little argument, verbal argument between anybody. It's just, everything
Everybody
just
does-
runs.
yeah.
Just runs
Everybody
the way it's
does
supposed
their
to.
thing, man. And
Yes.
it's cool.
So, there you go. They don't argue.
No.
Maybe someday.
Hope not.
So, okay, let me ask this then.
Uh-oh, here we
Who would
go.
be the one person you could see that disagreement coming between you and?
You think? Paul's raising his hand.
his
but
hand.
it's just because I aggravate the snot out of him.
Paul's usually a little more quiet. Devin's a little more loud. So,
A little.
they're total opposites of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
So,
He's rooming with me in California too.
hey, all right. Kennedy Johnson wants to know, what is the most embarrassing thing to happen to you on stage?
Happened to me on stage. Every time someone, what are you thinking?
No, not real.
Oh, that happens all the time though. That was we do this song, "No Found Grace in the Eyes of the Lord." It's like a Southern gospel rap song. There's so many words in it, but is that the time I looked at you and did the? So I do the Lord said, Noah said, and I drew a blank and went to speak, and I made up some random thing about Noah jumping off a cliff into a boat or something. And Paul goes, I looked at Paul and said, "The Lord said." He hung up on me basically. He goes, "That ain't the words." Gave me up for everybody.
Called him out right there on
Gave me
stage.
up. I said, "I know, thanks."
Well, when you're on stage, occasionally you draw a blank, and it's so awkward when that happens, because you just
And then you feel Ernie's eye daggers just drilling.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's just an awkward moment, But what you gonna do? It
What
happens.
do you do?
So here's some fun questions. The Garms family would like to know, how heavy was the weight you were lifting when you hurt your arm?
Oh wow, that's for those of you that don't know what they're talking about. February 12th ish, 2 years ago, we were working out. We loved to work out and run. We were in Florida, and we came back after a run, and I was lifting. And when I went down with the weight, I went to go back up, and my pectoralis major completely ripped in half, just shattered. And honestly, it wasn't like a stupid amount of weight. I'd love to tell you it was like I was bench pressing 450 pounds. I would love to tell you that. It was really just 225. So, and our 80-pound guitar player pulled it off my chest.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've torn my rotator cuff. I wasn't
Not fun.
lifting anything. I was just playing basketball. Just
Not
fell
fun.
in just right. Tore it. So,
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Mm-mm.
All right. One thing that several people asked about
Okay.
was your hair. And the main question was, how much hairspray do you use? Or maybe even what kind, really?
Okay.
And how much do you use for your hair?
Surprisingly, I don't use a lot of hairspray. I use just the Tresemme stuff. But people ask me every night about my hair. It's a lot of ladies want to know what I put in my hair. But I use a little black box called Kevin Murphy Night Rider, and I get it at a local salon there in Nashville. But yeah, it's half and half. People go, "I miss the spiked hair. I'm glad you don't spike your hair anymore." So you can't win.
No,
So,
you're never going to please everybody.
But so I just tell people my hair got saved, and so I started parting it up.
Okay, one more question from Ryan Biederman. Have you ever thought about being an elf at the North Pole?
Actually, it's my lifelong dream. I don't know how you knew that. I love that question. man.
Inside connection.
Yeah,
He knows all about you. Ryan has got it going on, and he
Gosh,
knows.
that's talent.
Ryan
right there.
knows. That is good.
That's talent.
You know what? I'm sick and tired of all these questions. We're going to the Fouch Zone.
Oh my
Here we
gosh.
go.
I'm scared.
Are you ready for these questions? You have a certain unspecified amount of time to answer the question. If you do not get it in that amount of time, we go directly to the next question. Here we go. How many
I'm so
countries?
scared.
Actually, I just want to let you know before we go. These are all California-themed questions.
Okay.
So how many counties are in the state of California? Time. What percent of the U.S. population lives in California?
3.
Time. Fresno claims to be the capital of the world for what? Time. What is the official state tree? Time. What is the largest state in the U.S.? This one's easy.
California. Texas. I don't know.
All right, answers are, number one,
don't know.
The
Dude,
number-
I'm so nervous. I'm sweating right now.
the number of counties is 58. The percentage of the U.S. population in California is 1/8. Fresno
way
claims,
off.
Fresno claims to be the capital of the world for raisins.
Oh, my mama didn't watch this part.
The official state tree is the redwood. And lastly, the largest state in the U.S. is not California, although I did lead you to give that answer. The largest state in the U.S. is Alaska.
That's what I said.
Yeah, sure. After you said California, Texas.
Alaska. Time me out. Dude, I'm sweating right now.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us for On the Couch with Fouch. Tell your friends about the videos. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
It's fun.
We'll see you next time.